So today we got some Makita tools here we're going to use and abuse. And this box is a little heavy, weak. So this is a combo kit. We got a two-piece, we got the hammer drill driver and the all-new impact driver that we're going to take a look at today. Now the model number for the combo kit is XT288T. And before I forget, 3-year warranty on it. The impact driver model is XDT16, and the model number for the drill driver is XPH14. Now before we start this video, I do want to let you know that Acme Tools sent this over for us to take a look at, not Makita. However, what is weird is I believe the Makita gnome is the one that actually delivered these tools. Very strange. So I will leave a link in the description below for these Makita tools, for Acme Tools, because without them, we wouldn't be able to take a look at these because Makita, well, they think they're too good for it. I also want to state that I had jaw surgery a couple weeks ago, and yes, I am still recovering, so I am sorry for any of the slurring, but it's getting better, I think, maybe. All right, so let's take a look real quick at what you're going to get in this kit. You get the hammer drill driver, you get a 5Ah battery with that, got the impact driver and another 5Ah, so you get two 5Ah batteries with this. You also got your handle here and a stopper, which I'll show you this here in a bit, and a fast charging charger. Now I want to let you know that Acme Tools is not paying me at all to do the review on this, and to tell you the truth, I have no dog in this fight. I could care less if Makita does well or not, simply because, well, like I said, I don't really care for some of the people over there. I'm not mentioning names, but that said, you know, listen, this is a fair tool channel and I want to see how these things perform. So at the end of this video, I will let you know what I think about this hammer drill driver and the impact driver, and if you should purchase these or not. Should you buy these? Should you spend your hard-earned money? We're going to find out. We're going to put them to the test. First up, impact driver. So what I like about Makita tools are they're getting smaller and smaller, and hopefully they're offering the same amount of power. Again, we're going to find out. But take a look at this. This is the rigid, compact impact driver, and this thing is so small. I mean, compared to the palm of my hand, look at this. This is basically the exact same size, but this is a small impact, so very versatile getting into those smaller areas. So I'm loving that right off the bat. All right, now before we use and abuse, let's talk about all of the features that you're going to get with the impact driver and the drill driver and see just how fine-tuned this thing is. So this is where Makita shines for me. If you're using self-tapping screws, you know, you have so many different features, so many different speeds and modes that you can really fine-tune this thing, and that's what always comes to mind with Makita. And not only that, you have a whole different section for if you're driving lags or screws or whatever you're doing, so heavier work. So they really do it well when it comes to this. Now, that is the one thing I will say I love about Makita. They give you so many freaking features on their impacts, on their drills, and it really allows you to fine-tune this thing to the point that, I mean, you can do really precision work with them, and they're just so compact. They really do make great tools. That Makita gnome still sucks, though. All right, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go into your self-tapping mode. And what I really like about this right down here is that you just hit this button. I love the digital feature here. You just hit those buttons and you can go to tapper 1, 2, and all that good stuff. So let me try it here. It has a little drill icon, and we're just going to go down through this tree 6x6 with no pilot hole. So right there, it picks up on speed. It senses how much more power it needs, and it just drives it. So you're not starting out on full bore there. Let's pull this out. All right, let's do a quick select here. Let's see what this one does. That just drives her down. You can see it stops, so it's not pulling it all the way out. So that's more of a reverse mode. See how it stops? Not pulling it all the way out. That's pretty nice. All right, we're gonna move it to T1, and this is gonna be not a lot of power at all. So again, no pilot hole. I just started this here. Here we go. So it stops, self-tapper. So that's nice. You don't damage what you're working on here. Pull it out. You'll pull it out, and we'll go to the 2 on here. Again, all you do is hit that button, and it'll cycle through those modes. All right, so again, T2. All right, controlled and slow. Still has enough power to bring it down. It pulls it out fast. All right, so now what we're going to do is go straight impact mode. I can hit this button down here, and you can see it'll change the different settings, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 being the most powerful or the fastest. But what's cool about this, instead of hitting that button up here, they put a button right here. Ah, that's hot. They put a button right up here that you can hit and it'll switch those modes instead of coming down here. All right, so now we have a 1/2-inch lag screw, and this really puts a lot of strain on these tools. We're gonna go straight down into that treated 6x6 with no pilot hole, and we're gonna see what it can do. We're gonna start it out on slow, and then we're gonna move it up to high, and if it can sink this, you know, in a reasonable amount of time, then, you know, I'll be impressed, but we gotta check it out. So let's start it out now. All right, so mode 1, again, I can hit this button right up on top and I can select it, or I can just go right here. It doesn't really matter, but I am going to go right here, and I am on mode 1. I am not expecting all that much off of mode 1. I'll probably start it, it'll probably impact it a couple times and start, but this is mode 1, no pilot hole. Pushing down a little bit. All right, so again, mode 1, it'll do it, but it's just slow, and well, that's what I was expecting. I'm gonna hit this button up on top and we're gonna go to mode 2. This is also a good way to see if this thing overheats a lot. So mode 2, not that impressive. Let's go to mode 3. And again, I'm not expecting it to be impressive. Let's go to mode 3. And now this is where I would expect it to start going a little bit faster and sinking this thing here. So mode 3, actually impressive, going down quicker than some of the mode 4s or the higher impacts that I put on my other impact driver. So that's looking good. So I'm excited to see what mode 4 does. Let's do that now. Here we go, 3, 2, 1. All right, so it's doing it. It's just not as fast as I thought it would be. Let's go back to mode 3. I want to see something here. Okay, so mode 4. Mode 3, mode 4, not that big of a difference. Let me pull this out. I'm going to start a fresh one on mode 4 only. We're just going to drive it. I'm going to pull it out here. All right, let me move this over. We're going to go to mode 4. We're going to straighten it out here, and we're just going to sink it on a count of 3. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so right now it's like pouring outside and I got a metal roof and you're gonna hear some tinging and a tanging on the top of that roof here. But what we got is 2 lag bolts. They are pretty much the exact same height. What I wanna do now is, just to give it a comparison, I am going with the new Rigid Max output impact driver in Makita just to see how much power this has. It's definitely not the most powerful impact driver. It's definitely a precise impact driver, I would say, but I just wanna see comparison-wise, how does this stack up? All right, I want to do one more. Oh no, something just came down that rainstorm. I hope it's not him. All right, I gotta go check this out. I'm gonna put the camera down and see if I can see anything. Just give me a second, all right? All right, I searched everything. I heard a noise. It's probably just my imagination. I'm not seeing anything, so I think we're good. I think we're good. All right, so again, now I want to see what happens between the Makita, and mind you, this is a 5Ah battery. I've been using the 4Ah max output. That was on the original first test, but I want to do the subcompact. This is like the smallest line from Rigid, probably the least powerful, but I want to see what they do. All right, so the Rigid subcompact. Again, there is no like any mode switching between this thing. It is just a basic impact for smaller jobs. The Makita should definitely take this hands down. That's what I'm assuming. At least I hope so anyway. So let's just go at it. All right, this time Rigid on my right, Makita on my left. I space these out a little bit. They're a little bit offset. They're exactly the same height. I just don't want the wood to split. Into a treated 6x6 with no pilot hole. 3, and I'm not gonna push down on these either. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so basically the compact barely able to even drive this thing down, and the Makita more than capable of driving this down. Listen, even though the Rigid max output, it really put a hurt on this thing, I think power-wise. It's still a powerful impact driver for the size of this. It's a very capable and precise impact driver, just like pretty much all of the Makita impact drivers. That said, there's really nothing new with this. It's still the mid-in-between range when it comes to power, and it's basically the same thing rehashed over and over and over again. Picking these up, other than a couple extra buttons allowing for more precision, I couldn't really tell a difference between this and my T14. But that said, even though you would never drive a lag screw down through a treated 6x6 with no pilot holes with something like this, I just wanted to put it to the test. That's what we do here. It's a tool test channel. I wanted to see how it would hold up, would it overheat. Long story short, it did what it needed to do, and it's still a really great impact driver. So I'm giving it a thumbs up on this thing. It's just not the most powerful. I think the 40 volt hopefully is going to be a lot better. We're going to get one of those here on the channel when it comes to power anyway. All right, let's turn it over to the hammer drill real quick and let's look at the specs. All right, so definitely feels great in the hands. It's a lot smaller. And boy, the build quality on Makita, I'll tell you, they're really top notch when you come to build quality. Everything's super smooth, easy to operate, love that. Got the analog switch up on top, which is whatever. So I'm gonna put on my handle real quick, and the one thing I really like about this is this stopper here. I've never seen this on a drill driver before, but let's put this on. You got a loosening and tightening knob right here. Very inventive for Makita. Hey, I'll give them props when props are due, man. This is pretty cool. So you loosen this up, and you throw this in there, and that's gonna be your stop. We just put a brand new battery in there. Listen to that thing hum. Very smooth operation. That's what I expect from Makita. We're gonna put in a 3/8 of an inch Bosch masonry bit. We're gonna go drill through some concrete. Still raining outside, so it might be a little moist out there. Moist. All right, so we got our concrete slab right here, and we have this adjusted to where this is gonna stop. So I'm hoping this works pretty good. Well, let's see what this can do. I think we're on high. Yeah, high. And we're on impact mode. We're not using drill, we're using impact. So 3, 2, 1, go. Bring this out a little bit. Okay, right now I might have to tighten this down a little bit because it's still sliding. So let's pull that out. Let's tighten that down a little bit. I really want this to work, so let me try it again. 3, 2, 1. Okay, that's better. That's stopped. I tightened it down just a little bit more. Look at that concrete's moist. All right, I want to do this again. I really, really like that stopper. Here, let's bring this out. All right, one more time. 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna put pressure down. Okay, so if you put a lot of pressure down, this will move. So it's more of a visual thing as well, but it does a pretty good job. It'll slow you down. You know when you hit it. Pull it up. All right, so what do I think about these at the end of the day? Well, as much as I dislike many of those over at Makita, we're an honest tool channel. We're going to give it to you straight. I really like these. I think it's a little bit underpowered, but most of Makita is. That said, this is not meant to drive lag screws down into a treated 6x6 with no pilot holes. It is a very precision piece of equipment, and it's going to get the job done. This is small. I mean, this is compared to the Rigid Compact, which is a very small tool, and this thing has more power than that and way more options, so I'm loving this. I guess size doesn't always matter, Makita. The drill driver, very impressive. I love the stop, even though it does move, even with this crank all the way down. It's more of a visual key, I think, but it still does a good job. It'll slow you down or at least stop you somewhat. You just gotta pay attention with it. I love that feature. Never seen that feature before on any drill driver. That's really cool. And again, not the most powerful drill driver out there, but it does the job and it feels great in the hands and very smooth. The vibration, hardly any. That is awesome. So what it boils down to, most powerful? No. Precise? Yes, absolutely. These are great tools and I would absolutely recommend them. Sometimes power doesn't mean everything, but it still has more than enough to get the job done. Now I want to know... you bite me! You back! No, not again! Please, please excuse me for a second.